everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I am here just to do a quick introduction for my vlog that I'm doing again on Rina Kent. I think we are almost caught up, after this trilogy that I'm going to be doing vlogging to her current series that she just finished that I've been dying to get to. So I'm so excited. I'm almost there. So in this vlog, I am going to be talking about the Monster trilogy. And this is the romance between Kirill, who is a Bratva mafia guy. He's very interesting. We've seen him in the previous Bratva books. So you really need to read like the duet, and then also the previous trilogy that I read, that was Adrian's. You should probably read those before you get into this one, but I am going to be reading the 3 books on Kirill and then Sasha, which was his bodyguard that everyone thinks is a man, but it's a woman. So I am very intrigued. I can't wait to get into this. Let's go ahead and dive into this vlog. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this. If you are new to my channel and you haven't seen these already, I have been basically reading Rina Kent's backlist in her reading order, and I've been vlogging the entire process. So I need to make a playlist of just my Rina Kent vlogs because it's a lot, but you can see some of my previous vlogs in my vlog playlist if you're interested. So anyways, I already read the first book in this. I read Blood of My Monster. Yeah, Blood of My Monster is the first book. I ended up buying it on Audible because it was pretty cheap. And I'm so glad I did because this audiobook was fantastic. I highly recommend it. Sebastian York is fantastic as Kirill. And this first book was so good. I'm so happy because the last trilogy was not great. I didn't enjoy it, and I was sucked into this book. I was into it. I immediately picked up the next book, and I bought the audiobook even though it wasn't as on sale as the other one. But now that I had experienced the audiobook and Sebastian York, I wanted to continue. So anyways, this is about Kirill, and it's going to take us back in time from before the previous books that were about the Bratva. So we are getting to see how him and Sasha met. Sasha is actually, she's a woman, and she's posing as a man, and she is in the military. She had to do this to kind of hide who she really is. Her family was massacred, and she had to kind of go into the military to train and get strong and also hide herself because her whole family was massacred and they're trying to find who really did it. And she ends up meeting Kirill. He was in charge, I believe, a captain in the military. And so she ends up, really he saves her from like these guys beating the shit out of her because she is very feminine or weak looking to the other guys. They kind of call her gay and all these just jerk homophobic type of things, and he kind of saves her from getting her ass beat, and so she instantly is drawn to him and basically kind of goes to him. He helps train her, and she is very weak compared to everybody else, and he pushes her through and pushes her really hard to get stronger and everything like that. He knows she's a woman and he doesn't really care, but he knows right away. She doesn't know he knows. But he ends up getting kind of manipulated by his father, who he hates. His father he hates, and his father's high up in the Bratva, and his father wants him back home. He doesn't want him doing this military anymore. He needs to come home as his heir in the Bratva. And so he ends up going back home because his father kind of sets it up where a bunch of his men get killed, and he knows that's just going to keep happening. So he ends up going home, and she follows him to be his bodyguard because she does find out when she sees his father that was one of the men that she thinks is responsible for her family's massacre. So she follows him to be his bodyguard to get closer to him, to try and kill his dad. But guess what? His dad dies pretty much immediately, and then she stays with Kirill and is working as bodyguard. And, things get pretty heated later because once he reveals to her that he knows she's a woman, things get pretty sexual pretty fast. It is very spicy. Kirill is a dirty talker. There are some sexy scenes. There's a sexy sauna scene. He's very possessive of her, even though she's not involved with any of the guys. He doesn't want her sleeping in the same area as them, so he makes her his like night bodyguard. And he like rescues her a lot when she's supposed to be protecting him. We get to meet his like younger brother, who is like kind of the spoiled little brat, but I think there might be more to him. He has a younger sister who has a lot of trauma, and she doesn't like want to go outside or anything. And his mother, who hates him, and the sister only cares about the little brother. So there's some crazy family dynamics going on. A lot goes down where she ends up she asked for a few days off because she found out her grandmother or whatever was really sick. And so she flies out to Russia. And of course, Kirill doesn't trust this. He had noticed she was talking to somebody on the phone, and like he thinks she has like a secret lover, and he is not going to allow that. And so he ends up following her, and she really was going to see her family and her grandmother. And it ended up being a setup by her uncle, because her uncle wanted to draw Kirill to them. And they basically, Kirill follows her, and he sees her with these men that have baklavas and like look all dangerous, and they shoot him. And that was kind of basically the cliffhanger for the first one. So I was so into it. I was sucked into this. I thought they had amazing chemistry. I love Sasha's character. I loved Kirill. I thought he's so smart, very methodical. He has like a plan A, B, C, D. He's very interesting. So I was intrigued by him and the other books already. So I immediately picked up the next one. So I'm probably not going to do a check-in till I finish that, because I'm trying to make this a really quick vlog, because you can see I can talk a lot about these. And so I don't want to make this super long this time, you guys. So I will check back in with you once I finish the second book. Hey guys, so a funny thing, I actually finished Lies of My Monster. I think that's the full title. A day ago or so, and I never did a check-in, and I'm so sorry. I got so hooked into this trilogy. I am so into it. So I ended up buying that audiobook too, because I loved the duet narration in the first one. It's so well done, and so I ended up paying for it. I also already am starting the third one. I bought that audiobook. Actually, I used a credit, but I'm loving these audiobooks. The duet narration is fantastic. Anyways, Lies of My Monster. God, I can't remember right now. I'm on Heart of My Monster right now. But I feel bad because I've been pretty bad in this vlog and not doing good check-ins. I'm at work right now. It's freaking hot. It's like 95 degrees outside. So I really want to make this check-in as quick as I can, because I'm hot in my car. Anyways, so I really loved, if you could tell since I rushed to the third one, I loved the second one. It was so good. The first one left off on the cliffhanger where Kirill was shot by her family, and she actually runs to his defense. Like, they are setting him up to kill him, and she defends him and is like, gets him to the hospital. And basically her doing that made her like grandma and other family members like kind of basically disown her, and they think Kirill is responsible for their family's death and massacre. And so she ends up going back with him, but he is very slow to trust. He's untrustful of her. He thinks she was like part of this setup for him to get killed. And so she has to like work really hard to prove her worth. And she's just slowly trying to get back in his good graces again. But she does fight back and work hard to get there. Kirill is just so drawn to her. And so it doesn't take forever for them to get back involved. But there's a lot of stuff going on with the Bratva, and Kirill is like a mastermind, and he has all these little plans in place to try and get so that he is going to be the new Pecan. Like, he has a drive, he has power, he wants all of that, and he has ambition, and so that's like his big goal. These are the things that he's trying to get to be the future pecan. And so this actually finally kind of caught up to what happens in like the throne duet, I think that's what it was called, with Raya or Rhea. I never say her name right. She, like, in that book, her and Sasha, oh no, it says my thing's too hot. My camera's, okay, sorry guys. My phone just shut off my filming because it says it was getting too hot, probably because it's 95 degrees out here and it's hot in my car. So I'm gonna try and make this quick so I can try and finish it before I have to go back into work. So anyways, this catches us up to that first book in the Thrones duet, where Raya and Sasha get taken, I think it was by the Albanians, and they were kidnapped by them. And this is when Raya figures out that Sasha is a woman, because the guys end up touching her and realizing she had tits, and then just stripping her, and they were going to rape her. They were going to rape both her and Raya, and so they were able to, like, fight back and kill the guys and try to get away. And then Kirill ends up coming and killing all these guys. Kirill went nuts when she got captured, and he's just so, like, obsessed with his woman, and so he was willing to do whatever it took to get her back. And so things kind of go in a good place for them. They, of course, start getting sexual again. In this book, we have a lot of edging going on, because Kirill, as a form of punishment when he's first upset with her, doesn't let her orgasm and keeps fucking her and, like, fucking up with her, basically, and, like, tied her up and torturing her by almost getting her to orgasm and then stopping, because he wants to know who the man was that she was with. He thinks it's like a lover, this guy that she's obsessed with protecting, when really it's her uncle, and she can't tell him. She's like, I can't tell you. Just know I won't ever betray you, and trust me, which he can't really do, because this is Kirill. Like, he has so many enemies, he doesn't trust easily. I love Kirill. I think he's such a phenomenal hero. This guy counted the times they've already had sex. I think he's like 200 and something times. Like, he is obsessed with her. He even has, like, this tattoo that it's obviously her, because I think it, like, has to do with, like, sunshine, and she's, like, his son kind of thing. She ends up even getting a tattoo for him, which I thought was kind of crazy. It was kind of like, I think their name, like the sweet name they use, whatever. So they're doing pretty good, and Kirill, but then there's a bomb dropped that he is set up to marry another of the Russian in the Bratvas, his daughter. This woman was actually supposed to marry Adrian in the previous Deception trilogy, but he was not going to marry her. And so, which I love seeing Adrian in this a little bit, but anyways, so he's supposed to marry this daughter, and she finds out about it, and she's, like, devastated, and she's, like, crying, and he comforts her and stuff. And so eventually, like, he even just sets it up for them to get married, and she's like, isn't this going to ruin your plans? Because that was all leading into him being voted in as the pecan. And he, like, secretly marries her, and then he kind of sends her away, because he's like, I need things to die down here before I reveal everything. And so he sends her away, and he ends up getting, sorry, I got distracted by something outside. He sends her to, like, a place to lie low, whatever, and then he's gonna figure things out. So what ends up happening is her brother shows up, and her brother is actually, I'm trying to remember his name now, Pavel or something, I can't remember the name, but it was one of his guards was actually her missing brother that she didn't know if it was alive or dead, and he had, like, I think he got, like, plastic surgery or something. But he shows up, and he's like, you're being played. He's marrying, the other girl, like, right now, and he has, like, a picture and everything, so she's, like, freaking out. And he's like, and he's sending people here to kill you and get rid of you and all that kind of stuff. So, and then they get attacked, like, as everything's going down. So that's kind of like the cliffhanger that ends up happening in that. And I'm already on the third book, but I'll update you guys in a little bit on it because I need to get back to work. But I knew Kirill wasn't really going to marry this chick. So just FYI, it's okay. He didn't. But like, I just have more faith in him than her, I guess. And I think there's shady stuff going on with her family. So I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I think 3.5 for chilies. I don't know which one I want to rate it, but it's spicy. I love Kirill. I love his dirty talk. He's phenomenal. So I'm loving this trilogy. So very good news for this one. All right. I'm going to head back into work and I will check back in with you once I finish the third one. Hey guys, so I am back with my final check-in for this amazing trilogy. So I know this vlog has not been the best and I do apologize. I just kind of finished the book and I'm updating you. I will promise that on my next vlogs for Rina Kent, I'm going to be better because it's going to be the Legacy of the Gods, which is everything I've been waiting for. And I will be going into much more detail and actually vlogging my experience. So I'm sorry. I think I just have done so many of these. I was kind of like getting a little tired out and having like these long vlogs to edit, which is probably still as long because you know how I rant or I talk and go on like I'm doing right now. But anyways, I did finish Heart of My Monster by Rina Kent. This is the third and final book in this monster trilogy. And this is my favorite trilogy that Rina's done. I didn't really love some of her previous stuff, or like the duets really didn't blow me away. So honestly, like, this is one of my favorite series, like, books from her, that's set on one couple at least. I still really love the first series. I think it's called the Royal Elite series is still like my fave. I love that series so much. It's what got me started with Rina Kent, but I really love this. It's my favorite out of the Bratva, the Mafia guys. And anyways, so I did get the audiobook for this one as well, and I just gotta say it is so freaking good. I bought them, and I'm glad I did because I will go back and listen to these again. They are so well done. It's duet narration. You just fly through them so quickly. There's so much going on, and it's just so well done. So in this final one, we had the cliffhanger of, you know, her finding out. Sasha finds out that Kirill is not really married to her supposedly, and he was responsible for her family's deaths and massacre, and her brother is really like, you know, the guy, like one of his men that was working for him this whole time, and she ends up getting supposedly attacked at the end. And then it was supposed to be like they're not really married, but he was like going to be marrying that other chick, and you know, who was shown a picture. But of course, I had complete faith in Kirill. I knew it wasn't a fake marriage. I knew he wasn't really marrying that chick, because once Kirill does something, he's a mastermind. He has, you know, A, B, C, D plans going in effect, and I knew he wasn't betraying Sasha. He's completely obsessed with her. So I had faith in it, and of course I wasn't wrong, because Kirill didn't really marry that woman. It was all set up to kind of reveal things, and it was kind of revealing. We end up getting the reveal that she is actually in a secret relationship with his brother Constantine, who's kind of been acting like a little punk. But really, I really liked him in this book a lot more, because you get to see like the mother put this wedge between them, and she always treated Constantine like the baby and was very manipulative behind the scenes, trying to make him like the man instead of Kirill. Like, she hated Kirill, she hated her daughter, and like tried to kill them at points, like didn't want to be pregnant with them. And more's revealed about that later in this book. But Constantine has actually been with that woman. I can't remember her name. I forget it, sorry. And like they're in love and everything. So he kind of gets to reveal that, and then they get to be together, and he's still going to be the pecan and all that kind of stuff. So he finds out that they were supposedly attacked, and he finds Sasha's burned like dead body. He doesn't believe it's her, but gets DNA testing and it comes back as her, and he fucking loses his mind, goes on a killing rampage. Damien's like living it up because he loves chaos and killing and war, and so he's enjoying Kirill's mental breakdown of him losing her, and he like won't sleep in their bedroom, and he like has like this grave for her, and he just like stays out by the grave every day. And so you get to see Kirill and his pure obsession and everything. But of course he's gonna find out that she is really alive. Now, the part that really annoyed me with this book was Sasha. For a good chunk of this book, she was like believing her brother out of nowhere, like thinking Kirill was like playing with her and didn't really marry her, and then was responsible for her family's death. And I don't get it, because the whole 2 books that was put up as an option, and she didn't think Kirill would ever do that, and she didn't believe any of those things that he would have been responsible for it. So I don't know why out of nowhere she's diehard believing it and feels betrayed and blah blah blah, and is gonna go to kill him, and like, so eventually that kind of another thing that happens in this book too is her brother had attacked Max, and he was like her best friend, another one of Kirill's soldiers that I really liked. He ended up being gay and actually having a crush on Sasha, not realizing she was a guy. And her brother had him like tied up in Russia, like in this sick hidden house, and she finds it and gets him to stop torturing him and like to keep him alive. And you could tell there's something going on between her brother and Max, like there was some kind of something going on. So I really love that part of this book. She ends up letting him go because she finds out that they're gonna like try and kill like Kirill's like family, as like a family for a family, and she doesn't want all these people to die. So she gets Max out so that he can kind of go warn him, but let him know that she's coming for him and they're gonna kill him or whatever. Of course, Kirill is a mastermind. Once he figures out she's alive, he has a plan set in place, kind of like a trap, and he basically, you know, gets her and he takes her with him, and they kidnap her brother, and they have him being held somewhere, and by Max now this time. So this book was pretty crazy. It was all over the place. She fights him and doesn't want to be with him, and just like lets him know they're not really married. Even though he lays it all out for her, she was still fighting it. So that part frustrated me, but it doesn't take long for Sasha to succumb to Kirill. Kirill is so obsessed, loves her. He literally counts the amount of times they've had sex. I just love them so much. And, you know, eventually she gets a surprise pregnancy happening, but she doesn't want him to make her stay because she has a baby, and so she's kind of keeping that from him. But I really liked it because she became like really good friends with the woman that he was supposed to marry, and it wasn't like this other woman feisty drama going on, because that woman like loved his brother. So a lot of over the top stuff happens near the end. Sorry, my cat was driving me nuts over there. So a lot of stuff, over the top stuff, happens at the end that is a little crazy. These families are just so dysfunctional, crazy. All of this stuff, that family massacre, it's revealed that it was like put into place by his mother, because his mother was like had an affair. She hated Kirill and his sister because she was raped by their father, and so she hated them, and she had an affair. And Constantine was she had an affair with Sasha's uncle, and so Constantine was actually that uncle's child. And he kind of put her off to the side because his wife got pregnant, and she didn't like that. So she was working with the other uncle to like massacre the family. So this uncle that Sasha was trusting for all these years was actually the one who planned this massacre to get power. So her and her brother feel so betrayed. A big shootout happens, all this kind of stuff. Max and her brother are in a relationship together. It's just a crazy ending, but it's a happily ever after. You get a couple epilogues at the end where they have kids, and, you know, more than just their one kid, I believe. Can't remember, but I loved it so much. So I ended up giving this one 5 stars. I gave all of them 5 stars. It was very spicy. It was fun. I am concerned because she went to Legacy of Gods after this, I believe, at least in her reading order. and I want Damien's romance. So I don't know if she's ever going to go back to the Bratva or anything like that. I would also love a book about Max and her brother. I think that would be amazing to get another male romance from Rina. So anyways, I loved it. So I highly recommend this trilogy if you are interested. It is good if you read the other ones in the Bratva, but honestly, I think you could go into this and still freaking love it. Highly recommend the audiobooks. They are fantastic. And I just am so happy. Now I'm finally going to get to go to God of Malice. So I'm debating doing vlogs for each of those books, because if I did a vlog for that whole series, I think it's like 5 books, it would just be too much. So I'll probably just do smaller vlogs for each book, because this whole journey has been to get to that point. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this vlog. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read this series, or if you're planning to, what your favorite Rina Kent book was so far. It's been a definite long journey for me to get through her backlist, and it's been a great time though. I've definitely enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for watching this. Leave me a comment, a heart emoji, whatever you want. Like the video, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.